Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Michael and JoJo show. I am JoJo and I'm here with my handsome co-host Michael Basha. And what do you know? It's Thursday night already and we are back again. How are you,
Yeah,
Michael?
I'm doing very well for a Thursday. It's very exciting news. I mean, how gorgeous are you looking every single week? I think I'm falling in love with you even more, if that's possible. Sorry, Jess, but I love you too. But yes, you're absolutely gorgeous. I have to say, it's
Oh,
exciting because
darling.
things have been lifted, the restrictions here in New South Wales, at least
Yes.
anyway, that I know of, from Friday.
Yes.
So it's kind of stage
Yes.
one. How about in the Gold Coast?
Absolutely. Up in Queensland, I know,
Queensland, sorry.
year ones and 11s and 12s have gone back to school. Our gatherings have increased to 5, maybe 10. Guys, never quote us. Always, consult Google or your local government website just to make sure, because we'd hate to give you the wrong information. I just know that we're still not allowed to go camping, which is something I'm really looking forward to doing. But
Yeah.
it's good to see things are finally slowly opening. Small businesses hopefully going to come back alive. And I think, I guess collectively all together, we are
Yeah.
making a difference. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I,
What a huge
I'm
star.
so
I mean, we've got a huge start on the show. We'd call her a legend. The one and only
absolutely the
Rachel
one
Beck.
and only Rachel Beck. Rachel
Oh my
Beck,
God.
what a
Such an honor.
what a star. Actually,
Yeah.
I was stalking her last night and I was like, oh my God, I love this woman. Don't tell my wife. Just reading more and more about her and where
Cool.
she started from humble
Yeah.
beginnings to where she's, where her career has taken her through theatre, through stage, through musicals and all. So we've got, Rachel, and we've also got George Basha, Michael's brother, who is phenomenal film writer, producer, and actor. He has produced many films. Currently, is it
Direct.
the Combin? And he's directed Combination Redemption, which is on Netflix. I guess Michael, as your brother, how proud are you of George?
Absolutely inspirational. Look, we can't wait till I talk to him very, very shortly. He'll be first up right after this. But let's just introduce our executive producer, the one and only Mr. Bruce Mott. That makes all this happen.
Yeah.
Hello, Bruce. You'll appear very soon somewhere.
Hello,
Oh,
Bruce.
there you are.
Hello, how
Hello,
are we?
Bruce. I'm
Looking forward
How are
to
you?
very
tonight.
well.
I'm very well, very well. Looking
Yeah,
forward to tonight. Some great guests.
absolutely.
Yes.
When I was putting the video together with Rachel, some of her singing is just magnificent, and she sings a Kate Bush song that's just brilliant. So, looking forward to hearing from her. Of course, George I've met at the the red carpet event, Michael, at the
Yeah, the combination.
Combination Redemption. So that's great.
Mm.
Another great show
And thank
coming
you so
up.
much for doing that too, for the
No
work that you
problem at
did.
all. No problem at all.
Okay, we
Lovely.
should
Yes.
bring him on then.
Yeah, okay. You want to bring him on now?
Let's do that. Yeah, bring
Yes,
him on.
let's go for
Let's see
it.
what
Let's
he's
bring him
doing.
on.
Why?
Just want to tell you face to face.
I should have guessed. You never once invited me to your house.
You don't understand. You don't.
Now you don't fucking understand, Sydney. Can't handle being of a lab.
Fuck you.
Why don't you just admit you're a racist?
And you're not.
This fucking place. This fucking place. I had so messed up, baby.
That's bullshit! He had a choice and he made it! I had a choice and I made it! It's not his friends, Mum. It's us! It's us, Mum! So stop blaming other people for your son's fuck-ups, including mine! We made a choice and we fucked up!
Sooner or later, you're gonna have to trust somebody. Trust. Place like this? Hey. Hey. You're not the only snake eater in here, Ray. Yes, boss. Hey, little girl.
Hi. Mummy home? Yeah. You want to call her for me? Yeah.
Oh, welcome. That was amazing. Welcome, Georgie. Thank you
There
for
you go.
coming on tonight. That was amazing. How are
Hey,
you?
how are you, bro? That was my
Oh,
little
hey, guys, you
niece.
good?
That was my little niece at the end, Cynthia.
Yeah,
So,
my little
Was
daughter.
it?
My little daughter, my
yeah,
little baby.
yeah.
Wow.
I was just watching the combination one. Haven't seen that for years. Had a lot of hair back then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, life has been tough for you.
Yeah, well, it hasn't been that tough, but it's just falling out. I come from the
Oh,
uncles.
darling.
I'm the uncle.
Oh, look, such an honor to bring you on the show. I guess last week we had my parents on. This week we've got you on, knowing your history, where you've come from. And it's so lovely to see, another Habibi brother out there making waves in the film industry, bringing the West, I guess, especially the West of Sydney to the scenes. And you've been a part of such phenomenal movies and of work. And where did it all start for you? How did this all begin?
Well, my first ever gig, I did a film in '97 with Heath Ledger in a film called
Oh,
Black Rock.
wow.
And it was my first ever gig. I was a new actor on the block, and to land a film with it's probably some of the best talent in Australia back then. It was like I think Rebecca Smart, David Field, Heath Ledger. And I was like the only pretty much nobody. And that thing when someone gives you a taste of a cake, a little piece of a cake,
Yep.
and then you want it all. I think I fell in love with acting, but I wanted to say something. I think in films, what I've been able to do is I've been able to say something, and it's not just about the entertainment. We are in the entertainment business, but I've been able to talk about what it's like growing up in Western Sydney, growing up with different two ethnicities, for example, and I've been able to touch people's lives with that. And it doesn't matter what race, religion, or you might be. People were able to relate to what I was saying, and I think that is important. I can tell stories that relate to people.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes it so amazing is that it is a platform for you to have that voice, especially when you've had all these experiences throughout life and you use this. And that's, I guess, as anyone in the entertainment industry, this is what you do. It's you use it as your way to communicate, to tell your stories, and to really educate people. Yeah.
And Georgie, can I ask you your relationship with David Field is an amazing one. I mean, a lot of the film industry completely respect you and David as a one team. I mean, tell us a story about David Field and how you met him.
Mate, we're like a married couple, me and Dave. We whinge a lot. Now, look, I met Dave. Dave was actually on Black Rock, the first film I was ever in. We crossed paths, a lot during filming. We never spoke. So what happened years down the track, I had a problem getting into the industry because of my ethnicity. And my agent back then made it clear to me that she was finding it very hard to get me into auditions because I was pretty much a wog. And there wasn't many roles out there for my look, which kind of, that drove me. So I decided I wanted to go out and prove everyone wrong and prove that, we need to be telling stories in this country of all races. And we're all Australians. I mean, we can't help, our backgrounds or where we're from. And don't get me wrong, I'm proud of my background and always will be. So I wrote this big script, the combination. It was about 200 pages at the time. And funny enough, I get a phone call from one of my mates who was buying a car, and the seller happened to be David Field. So my mate calls me, and we have a chat, me and Dave, and he tells me, I know you, we worked on Black Rock together. And to be honest, I never remembered him. I knew the name, but I didn't remember the face. And he asked me what I'd doing. What I've been doing. I said, look, mate. I said, I was back then. I think I was panel beating cars. I was a panel beater. And I said, mate, what do you think I'm doing? I'm panel beating cars. I'm not getting any roles. And he kind of had a little laugh, and he goes, but I said to him, but I have written a script, and if you know anyone that I could show it to, he says to me, oh, I'll have a look at it. And then, he said, I'll drive out and see you next week. I'll come out to Parrot, we'll have lunch, and I'll have a look at your script. And to be honest with you, I'm like, yeah, here we go. Another white man bullshitting to me, pretty much. Yeah. But funny enough, he came out. He came out. We had lunch. He read the script. He actually took the script away. A few days later, he called me up. He said, I love this. I want to direct this. Wow. So we went on a journey for about 8 years to raise the money for it. It's an independent film. We kept getting promises after promises. As everyone knows in the industry, once you get close to making a film, the money falls through, and then you start from step one again. Yeah. But I was determined to make this film. I knew this story needed to be told. It was based on my life growing up in Western Sydney. So 8 years later, we did it. And, the funny thing is, I wasn't supposed to play the lead. I was supposed to play the bad guy in that film. And then when Dave auditioned, I think, one actor at the time, I think it was Daniel Amam at the time. And then I asked him, how'd you go? And he looked at me, he said, I'm not sure he's the one for the role. The next day I got a phone call and Dave goes to me, you've got to play the lead. This is you. He goes, I watched, I've read the script, I've watched you, this is you, you need to play this. And I was hesitant. I said, look, mate, I don't want to be the one that ruins this film. I said, I don't know if I can carry a lead. So I went from there, and he just backed me, and he coached me a lot. A lot of the acting I know has been from David Field's experience. He's been coaching me, helping me. He's helped me grow as a writer, as a filmmaker, as a person, as a man. I mean, when he first met me, I was a young punk who had a chip on his shoulder, street kid, who, if somebody looked at him, like, I'm going, what's this guy looking at? To a man now that doesn't have that chip anymore, and just, grown. Not only as a filmmaker, but as a man, and that's a lot to do with Dave. That's the relationship we have.
Fantastic. You know what? Let's fast forward it to 2019. The Combination Redemption, which hit the cinemas, made it all on the cinemas, the major cinemas. Congratulations, first and foremost, on that, for a fantastic sequel, which is on Netflix as well. So, and then we had Convict as well. So you're on a bit of a roll. So you're going to film another film before this COVID-19 hit us. Are we still filming another film?
Well, I was supposed to do a film that I'd written, later on this year. That looks like it's on hold. It's an action film. Play a father. It's called Retreat. That goes out in the bush, and his family's attacked by some mercenaries, and he's an ex-soldier. That's put on hold, but we are filming. As you see, the reason I have all this is for a look. There's a film I'm producing, starring with. Yeah, there's a film I'm producing and starring in for a young filmmaker called Omar Foda. It's a thriller. It's a short film. We're shooting that in August, September. That's going ahead. And I've I'm going to Melbourne end of the year to be in a film called Hoodlums, where I play a gangster drug dealer. So this year I'm pretty much busy with roles that I've got. And, I'm helping Omar with this, producing this film and starring in it. So my hands are full for this year. And I think next year will be the year I probably will go on and shoot the new film. And I'm also working on a film with Dave that I've written, me and Dave. It's a different genre than I've ever done. It's about a young girl with a handicap. It's a tearjerker, so there's no action, nothing. It's actually a real good script, and we're looking now at the moment. We want to direct that. That's nothing I want to act in. I want to direct it, me and Dave, and produce it. So we're looking for a decent cast members at the moment to get it together and go from there and try to make that as well. So yeah, no, hands are full. And we're working on a TV series at the moment, me and Dave writing a pilot. So we are busy.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Georgie. I know we're running out of time.
You guys really have the bromance going on. Yeah, we do. It's been absolutely. Look, I guess do we have time for one more question? Or I guess, you know, I know, I guess knowing the film industry and how it can be very unpredictable. What would be one thing you could potentially you'd like to change about the film industry? What would that be?
What was that? I just lost you for a second. What was that? Can you
Okay.
ask that question again, please? I lost you for a second.
Yeah,
If
no,
you
I
could
was
change
saying,
something
with the film industry.
yeah, keep
Okay.
going.
Look, I think.
Yeah,
I,
if you
look,
could change
I
something in
think.
the industry, what would it be?
I think the film industry needs a bit more kahunas, a bit more ticker. I think the problem with our film industry at the moment is we continue to recycle the same actors all the time. If you look at your mainstream TV, it's one actor goes from one show to another show. There's a lot of great young talent out here that are looking for an opportunity. There's heaps of them, and all they want is an opportunity to show what they can do. And the reason I say that is I have found a lot. I mean, I worked with Firaz Durrani on Combination. He's a big household name now. I worked with Claire Bowen, who was a nobody. She's been in Nashville. She's in America at the moment. All I did was give her an opportunity. Rahel Rahman, who's been in a handful of films. He's a great young actor. You know, there's so much talent out there, and I think our industry needs to start taking risks and giving these up and comers a crack at chasing their dream. That's what I'll change.
Thank you, Georgie. You're amazing.
Well, it's always the
Inspirational, brother.
1%. It's always the 1% that run it.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thank you, George Basher.
Been a pleasure.
Bro.
Thanks, Tom. Thank you so much. Pleasure.
See ya.
Yeah,
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
bye.
Bye.
There you go, my brother.
Oh. No,
I'm glad that
what
it's only a
amazing.
look
You must
for
be
his
so
new
proud
film.
of him.
I am very proud. He's inspiring.
Yeah.
You know, it's him that I've met all these amazing other, actors of the world. You know, and we're talking about actors. Let's bring someone on right now. She is absolutely a legend in the Australian film industry. She is on stage and television. She's an actress and a singer. The one and only Rachel Beck.
Well, Rachel Beck has a long list of stage and screen credits to her name, including a role on one of our longest-running sitcoms. Take a look. It was 1990 when we first met Rachel Beck on A Country Practice. But it was her role as Samantha Kelly in our longest-running sitcom, Hey Dad, that cemented her as a performing powerhouse.
But you know how I really want to be an actress?
Yes.
Well, I figured that this will give me something to fall back on in those rare times when I'm on demand for musicals and plays and theatrical productions and such.
In 1992, she channeled the talents of Judy Garland in a one-woman show, Young Judy. More recent stage roles have included Singing in the Rain and The Sound of Music. And she even formed an all-singing, all-dancing trio called Girls on Film. She showed off her vocal talents for 3 series of celebrity singing competition, It Takes Two.
My baby don't care for shows. My baby don't care for clothes. He cares for me.
And if I only could, I'd make a deal with God, and I'd get him to swap our places. Be running up that road, be running up that hill, be running up that building. Say if I only could.
Hi.
Oh, welcome.
I don't want to embarrass you. Oh, hi, Rachel Beck.
Oh, welcome.
Cheers, Rachel.
Welcome.
Rachel, cheers
where's
to
my
a stellar
mic?
career, darling. A stellar career.
Thank
cheers to a
you.
stellar career. Oh, yes, red wine.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
what
well,
is
What an honour.
that? How is that?
I've got my Hugh Hefner coat on. It's actually a dressing gown. And some very glittery earrings.
Bling, bling. I love it.
You look all bling.
I mean,
bling, bling.
yeah, you've been actually stalking Rachel, haven't you? My co-host, JoJo. What have you been stalking her for? Oh, you found a lot of things. you want to ask me the
Thanks,
first
thanks,
question?
Michael. Thank you. I know I was. I was actually doing a little bit of stalking last night. I was like to my wife. I was like, oh my God, I love her because just seeing everything that you've done. Like obviously you started from, I guess I remember you from Hey Dad, and I think we all remember you. It was such an iconic show. And I guess, being so young, I think you were 19 when you started that. So how was that for you, I guess, starting way back then?
I started actually earlier than that. My first show was Cats, the very first production of Cats when I was 15. So I left school, halfway through year 10 and rolled around in a unitard on the ground with lots of different people that I'd never met. And it was my foray into this crazy industry, which has been as crazy ever since that. Yeah, it's been a very interesting ride for me and very varied, as you could see. But I
Yeah.
think the great thing for me, I've been in this industry professionally for 32 years, and I'm so grateful that I have been able to be. Thank you. But it's also because, as you saw, I create my own work, and I love teaching. I love mentoring. I love film. I just did an indie film, 2 years ago, which I watched a couple of nights ago with my boyfriend, and I went, oh my God. I love your brother, by the way. George is a firecracker. Oh my goodness. And I totally agree that, people, new talent needs to come through, but I think it's because producers are so scared about putting new people in there. Will they sell the films? We're such a small industry. I understand why they do it, but we need more people like George to, bang that drum. We've got so much talent here.
There is. It's such a big
absolutely.
industry. And
Can we
always
talk about
the
talent? Sorry to
This
take
is
this.
Elle.
Talent.
I'm having dinner
Hey,
with
little
my
girl.
friend Elle.
I know you're with your
hello.
kids at the moment, Rachel. You're having dinner at a friend's place. How's isolation? How's the kids going? Happy Mother's Day,
Well,
by the way.
thank you. Look, I'm going quietly crazy. The other day, I almost had a nervous breakdown over the area of a lopsided triangle. But other than that, I think, you know what? I come from a family of school teachers, and one of the takeaways from this will be a newfound respect for teachers. It's a hard industry, and I don't really think that people, from my point of view, I don't think they understand how hard it is. And I think that, a lot of parents will be going, oh my goodness, thank you so much, teachers. You're amazing.
And
Yeah,
most parents are
nurses,
just looking after
teachers.
their own kids, which you can kind of handle. But imagine a classroom, so it gives a different appreciation for teachers and what they actually do. So I think you and all the parents out there probably just cannot wait to send all the kids back to school.
Yeah, where are my kids? Yeah. Totally.
And so you come from, I mean, your family are so musically talented as well. Like your grandfather, he was a tap dancer, your dad was a teacher. And so I guess you had the one up on everyone really, because I guess it's just been embedded in your blood, really.
Oh, look, I don't know. I mean, my mother's quite conservative. I grew up in the country in Alstonville, which is near Ballina, near Byron Bay. So, we didn't have a lot of contact with crazy theatrical types. But yes, you're right. You've done your research for sure. My grandfather was a cane farmer who tap danced and wrote the local reviews. And so he's one of those guys that pulled up to other people's farms on his truck and made it a stage, and then they all did performances and he wrote ditties and things like that. So maybe it is in the blood. Yeah
It definitely. And your grandfather, was it your grandfather that used to give jobs to Aboriginal Indigenous
Yes, he did.
kids?
Yeah, he did.
And then you've got your charity now as well, where you give. You're the ambassador.
ACMF. I do a lot of work for them, and we put music teachers and classes into low socioeconomic schools, and we do a lot of work with kids who are struggling, and just really really trying to strengthen and create awareness around how important it is to have a very strong creative and performing arts department in your high schools, and the link between the creative arts and mental health, you know, the self-belief, the self-confidence, teamwork, all of that is just so important and relevant. And, you know, the soft skills, it's human skills, you know. I always say to people, emotions are my tools. And so, you know, it's a human. I think every high school and every school should have very strong music, creative arts departments.
It's beautifully said. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Rachel. I'm going to mention Home and Away, Stingers, GP, Flying Doctors, just to name a few. That's just a few of some of our biggest shows on Australian television history. What have been some of your fondest memories when I mention those shows, Rach?
Well, anyone who knows me well knows that I'm not a great. Oh well, no, I'm a great driver. I'm a great driver. I love speeding, and yeah, I've lost a lot of points speeding. But when I was doing Flying Doctors, I had to drive a manual, and I had never learnt how to drive a manual, and I had to drive my 8 siblings in a car. And I remember I had to do, you know, probably 28 takes of something because I didn't know that it kept bumping. I remember Rebecca Gibney just going, "Oh my goodness, can I just sit in the car and do it for her?" So that was a very funny. There were always crazy locations in Flying Doctors. Like you had to travel for hours and hours and drive. And when you got there, you know, it was just a shocker. That was a lot of fun. Home and Away was interesting. Home and Away was really interesting because it's so quick. You know, the turnover is really, really fast, and you basically have to get the script and look at it and memorize it straight away. And I think it's a muscle in your brain. You know, some people say I could never learn lines quickly, but it's the muscle you use, and the more you use it, the better it gets. And so I found when I was doing Home and Away, I could definitely learn 5 or 6 scenes overnight, know them word perfect. Mind you, the minute you do them, you never remember them again. Whereas I still remember all of the songs from Les Mis because I did that eight shows a week live, 8 shows a week for a year. And Cats as well, the same. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I think you've frozen a bit, but I'm going to mention your amazing stage career. If you can hear me,
yes.
We're talking. We're talking like. Are you there? I know. Oh yeah, cutting out. So I think Rachel, you're cutting out a little bit. You didn't say the internet. but
she still looks very beautiful, frozen. So
there you are. She's back. She's back. Are you back?
Oh, we can't hear you. Maybe just move a little bit to the left, Rachel.
To the left, to the left, to the right, to the right.
Okay, I am moving.
Oh, there you are.
There we go.
No, I'm still just going. I'm still going funny.
Do not breathe.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh, can you guys stop the phone?
I love you, Rachel.
Everyone's on their phone to see.
They're using the
internet.
Get
off your Wi-Fi.
Rachel, let's talk about your musical career quickly. Your musical career has been amazing. You're an award-winning, you know, stage theatre. Amazing. You're at the next level. I mean, you've worked with the likes of Hugh Jackman in Disney's Beauty and the Beast. I mean, amongst many. But tell me about your stage and theatre performances before we run out of time.
Well, I suppose I grew up first and foremost as a stage performer. I do love live performance because it's that adrenaline, it's that risk. It's like you're walking the high wire, and it's like a tennis game because you need the feedback from the audience to know whether a joke is working or know whether you have you know, at the beginning of I Dreamed a Dream in Les Mis, you would want the audience to be totally quiet and you know you've done your job. So it's actually something that is, you know, the audience is a big part of it. And I really enjoy that. And I have, you know, I've done a lot of shows for a year, 8 shows a week. A lot of people ask me, do you prefer TV or do you like stage? I have to say I like a combination of both. They require different skills. But I have to say that in all, I think stage is the most exciting for me. And I beautiful leading men, you know, Todd McKenney and Michael
I
Cormick
was
and
gonna
Hugh and
say you had. I heard that you had great
Man, is
relations.
that
Well,
true?
there's a lot of men there that you got to kiss every day for the whole year, like the shoes of Hugh Jackman. That would have been, yeah. Look, I had some of the men that we could only dream of, you know, working alongside.
Who's been
I
your
know I have
favourite?
been very lucky. I wonder who would be watching.
Sorry.
My favorite. I'm not good with favorites. Not good with
Okay.
favorites. I think every show is different and you feel differently. And, you know, I think the guys that I've played opposite, I've remained firm friends with and best friends with because there is a connection that is unlike any other because you hold that person you are walking the high wire with and you have to protect each other and you have to support each other and be there for each other. So there is a definite connection there that is unlike any other connection that you have in your life, actually. But yeah, probably Todd and Michael and David Hobson, they're the ones that I probably work with the most.
Who was the
No
best
favorites.
kisser?
The thing is, I have to explain. No. The thing is, I have to explain.
Please
that
explain.
I was about to
kiss
say
on
time's
stage
running out, but I
or
want to
on
hear that
screen
answer.
is like a handshake.
Yeah.
It's like a handshake.
Okay.
It's actually not romantic. It's not romantic on a film set. It's not romantic on stage. There's no sense of intimacy actually because it's not intimate. So it's like it's an exchange. If you could be saying something to someone, I'm not speaking for them, but yeah, no, it's just yeah, it's not what you would think it would be like.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I have to
It's
say we had
acting.
Scott McRae on the show last week. He says hello, by the way. Scott McRae's.
Oh,
I needed to
Scotty.
mention that. Yeah, just wanted to
He's
pass that beautiful information on. Absolutely, yeah, it was awesome. But I mean, we're running out of time. We saw our executive producer jump in. Bruce, are you still there? Where are you, Bruce?
When he comes in, it means
Bruce,
we've gone over.
Yeah, but Rachel, it's been an absolute honour. I mean, a dream come true of mine to meet you finally.
Oh, thank you.
Signed up.
Thank you.
I love you.
Guys,
Here's
thank you
Bruce.
for having me here, and let's stay in touch, can we please?
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's been an honour.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
coming
for
on.
having me.
We
Thank
love
you.
you.
Congratulations on a 32 plus career and many, many more to come. Cheers to Rachel Begg.
See ya.
And
Cheers.
and cheers, baby.
Cheers.
And George Bassett too. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
See you, beautiful.
Thank you.
Mwah.
Bye. There you go. Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, I didn't want to even
amazing.
cut her off at all, but what an amazing show. What an amazing guest. What an amazing star. Rachel Beck. What an honour. And also to have my
It
brother
is.
on as well. I mean, he's so inspiring and a mover and shaker of the industry as well. Fantastic. And thank you so much again, JoJo. You're looking gorgeous.
Thank you.
As
And
always.
I love,
What do you
every
think?
Thursday we get to come on and we get to, bring on some really amazing talent, some real amazing Australian stars, and see what they're up to, what they're doing, and really acknowledge them, for the contribution and the influence they've had in the industry. So thank you to Rachel, thank you to George for joining us, thank you Michael, and thank you Bruce. Everyone,
And thank you
for
to the
tuning
audience.
in.
Yeah.
Yes, and next week we've got a couple of amazing guests. We've got the Karina Brown our fabulous rugby player, and
we've got the CEO of Mardi Gras, the one at Kate Wicket, and I think Albert Krieger will be joining as well, the CEOs of Mardi Gras. They do amazing work. We're going to catch up with them as well next week.
Wonderful. All right, guys. So that's a wrap for this week. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you all again next Thursday.
7 o'clock.